Well, hello my fine gardening friends. How the devil are you? Welcome to a quiet, beautiful early morning here in equally beautiful Nova Scotia. There's a bit of a mist. I think if I went down to the water about 300 metres away down the hill, there'd be the famous Halifax, St Margaret's Bay, Nova Scotia type fog all across the low ground and the water, etc. But up here we're a bit higher here. The blue sky is starting to come through, and I think it's going to be about 27 degrees. I can't remember what that is in old money, just about around the 80 degrees mark. So a hot day today here at the end of June, 23rd, 24th. It's a Saturday anyway, and the garden is looking fantastic at the moment. So I thought I would give you a bit of a tour, bit of a end of June tour here in my garden. And the reason I thought I'd do it is because the lupins are just looking absolutely magnificent at the moment. I let them run a bit wild at this time of year because I could never grow them in Cornwall. We had so many, because it was quite damp and warm over the winter, we used to get so many slugs and snails. I could never really grow them here. And here, there, when I lived in Cornwall, but here they grow like weeds. Absolutely magnificent, as you can see behind me. And lots of other things are out. The poppies, got some dianthus, a new one in my garden this year, Baptisia australis, or false indigo. Looks to be an absolute cracker, but lots of different things going on. Everything's all fresh and green and vibrant. So I've dominated by purples, obviously the sort of purples and the pinks, but I love it. So why don't we have a little look around? So behind me is what I call the lower swimming pool bed. Literally just because it's right next to the swimming pool and it's lower than that one over there. But anyway, and we've got a brilliant example behind me of the lupins that are growing in my garden. And you know, one of the great things about these lupins is I didn't buy any of these lupins at all. I found them in the ditch, a couple of plants in the ditch just on the edge of my garden. And you know, and ever since then they've just increased all over the place, and I absolutely love these pink ones. Really are beautiful with the sort of bi-colour dark pink and then the lighter pink. Really are beautiful. And the blues are the blues, or the purples are the staple ones that are all over the place. But it's great to have the pink interspersed here and there. This bed is about what is it now? It's probably about 3 years old now. I remember doing it when I was first ill with the cancer, throat cancer. So that was probably about 3 years ago. Me and my son and I, as you can see, there's these great big rocks here. Why don't we have a little proper look around? So as I said, this bed is about 3 years old now, and I manhandled all these big rocks, all dug out of my garden. These were all dug out of my garden when I was building the pool and the deck. Great big massive things down to sort of smaller, but they're great for edging. So 3 years old. I've made a bit of a change this year, and I've realised there's a bit of a gap in the middle there, which I'm going to fill. But at the back we've got the lovely beautiful tall valerian, and that has a beautiful smell, which is nice when we're sort of swimming in the pool. And then we've got some asters at the back there, so they won't be flowering until the August time. And then we've got some Shasta daisies, so they're starting to grow their flowers. They'll be about July. Daylilies there, not flowering yet. Liatris starting to come up there. Here's a very small Baptisia australis, false indigo, which I'll show you. This is my new favourite plant of the year, actually. So we've got some lilies, been attacked by the old lily beetle, unfortunately. I've tried to keep guard, but I don't want to spray them or anything. Some iris, beautiful yellow iris. They're just all sort of starting to go over now. I can show you some better versions of those. Here's a nice little one, the old sage. Has some beautiful flowers at the front, and obviously the lovely smell. Oh yeah, beautiful. So, and the poppies here, still got poppies coming. So poppies are beautiful. They're not only fleeting in their beauty, but they are beautiful nonetheless. And the bees obviously love them. I think what I'll do is put another, see if I can get a pink one, another pink lupin, and get that in the middle there for sort of the early season colour, and then the other plants will take over later on in the year. This one I'd completely dug over, so it's completely new. I need to put some new things in. I've got some gladioli coming up there, as you can see. The iris, some liatris at the back. I've got some agastache right coming back there. Some giant phlox. That's not very giant at the moment. If we look over here, those there, that's a big giant phlox. They'll be beautiful later on in the end. I've got bigger versions of those in other parts of the garden. So this is still a new area. Now you wouldn't believe this one here. This is literally really just 2 years old, this bed. So we've got some lovely dianthus, always beautiful the dianthus. I've got box starting. I want to grow this box either side. In the end I'd like to grow it as an arch, but I'm going to grow them as big tall columns either side there. Some anemones I think in there, and some obviously weeds, the old buttercup type plants. I can't remember what they're called, but I thought they look quite nice, so I'm going to let them grow. More of your beautiful valerian, tall in the distance in the background. I need to dig that bed over actually. That needs to be sorted a bit. And here we have still, these were the original yellow iris that I planted here, and now I've been able to plant all over the garden now by division, so that's been really good. So yeah, the beautiful dianthus. I need to get some of the weedy grass out of there, but another good thing, this is really easy to sort of spread as well by division. So I've got that starting to grow in other parts of the garden. That's really good. Columbine here, that's starting to go over now, but they are beautiful, aren't they? And there is another version, a very dainty little version, and you can see the leaves, they are columbine, but they're just a different type. And obviously here now, the main parts of the lupins, absolutely beautiful. I've got these are absolutely stunning daylilies, one either side, sort of hidden in there in sort of July, August time. Beautiful. What are these called? No, I can't remember what they're called. What a duffer. Beautiful pink flowers. Well, these could be white ones. No, they are pink. Anyway, they are stunning. They'll be flowering soon, and I can't remember what they're called. One of my favourite flowers. I'm sure I'll have the words flashed across the screen. Alliums, some lovely alliums coming into flower now. And in amongst here is this Baptisia australis. Now again, I've got a better version, flowering version, down in another part of the garden, which I can show you there now. Beautiful flowers, and they last ages as a cut flower as well. So they're really, and I grew these all from seed. So they took me about 3 years to get to this point, but now I think they're going to be stunning going forward in the next few years. And they'll get quite tall. They'll get, you know, 1.5 meters tall. And along here, I've dug a lot of this over and changed everything over this year. Like I said, I've got more of the phlox. Here's Rudbeckia, the black-eyed Susans in the back there. Lots more of the agastache. Shasta daisies starting to you know, be flowering soon. I've got this, looks hideous at the moment, but it'll have sweet peas growing all the way around it later on. And what else have I got in here? I've got lots of other things actually. Look at this absolutely magnificent hosta. I didn't realise it was that big actually. I'm going to divide that next year and move that around a bit. So you know, that's looking fantastic. more of the so this is that agastache, giant giant hist. What is it called again? What is it called again? Got my piece of paper, so because I've got such a bad memory. Giant hyssop. That's it, giant hyssop. And lovely clematis starting to come up there. It'll be flowering soon, a small one. I can't remember which one it is, but look at this clematis here. What a beauty that is. Hopefully I'll eventually get it to go all the way over the arch, but look at the absolutely stunning flowers. This bed's not doing a lot at the moment, but later on it'll have lots of flowers growing. I love this fern. I got this out of the woods, and it's always such a stunner in the little shady bit there. But then obviously it gets in the sun and it doesn't like it there, but you know, it's good anyway. This, an early daylilium flower. Beautiful yellow flowers there. So what else have we got here? It's mostly the same. Repeating, you know, Shasta daisies, giant hyssop. Obviously another lupin here. Some more. Can't remember what those classic yellow ones are. I've got such a bad memory at the moment. These are the dianthus, and I'll literally just cut these off from the other plant, separated them last year, so they're looking good. This is a bed I made at the last autumn, so there's not a lot in there, but you know, I've got some little grasses that I took from seeds growing. This beautiful white flower plant, I can never remember what that name is. Hopefully I'll have these flashed up on the screen when we come past. And here's a dahlia. I've got other dahlias, lots of other dahlias that I've not put in yet, and I should have some more dahlias coming up in here somewhere. I can't see. There's one coming up there, but other ones I've got in the pots at the moment, and I'm leaving those. So this is all just started, so hopefully there's a foxglove there that will probably flower next year, but this will be as big as this one next year, you know, with the flowers, etc. I'll tell you what I've got around here that is an absolute stunner. There's another hosta. Look at this beauty. Absolutely love this one. I'm going to try and divide that and move that into another bed as well, because that is an absolute beauty. I want to try and get that into my contemplation garden. Oh, and there's some grasses there. I divided those grasses, so that was a big grass, but I've divided that into 4 earlier in the year in the video that I showed you about dividing grasses. So that is small now, but again that'll grow up big. And again, various more of your lupins and the poppies starting to go over. And then I have to cut all this all back and let everything else that's in there start to grow up. I've got some bee balm in here, and they will grow up nice and tall, lots of flowers. So I need to, as soon as the lupins go, I'll cut them hard back, and then they might flower again anyway later on in the summer, but it gives everything else a chance, the phlox in there, etc., to grow up and do their shows later. So that is my sort of my main sort of back garden. And again, more hostas, etc., along here. I'll quickly show you what I knocked up earlier in the spring. Look at that big hosta. My new fire pit area, and I'm going to put some planters down here at the moment, but I made this new fire pit area. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build up some stone planters here either side and have some nice flowers, or an archway going over actually maybe. But yeah, I've just put some cardboard down and the stones, yeah, and a nice little fire pit area. But yeah, an archway I think going over the top there, maybe the planters on this side here. Hopefully that'll look good. Nice sort of autumn nights, roasting the old marshmallows by the fire. Right, let's have a look at the orchard, shall we? So we are in the orchard now, and unfortunately the black fly have come out, so my beautiful hat is on, and I've had some terrible bites the last few days, like 6 around there. It's a right itchy nightmare, so I'm putting this on, and I've got like a little scarfette on as well, haven't I? So I'm sat in the sort of the shady splendour with the love seat behind me, and this orchard is about five years old now, I think, and it again, it's my sort of very proud of this. Looking great now, again dominated behind me, you'll see, by the lupins again at this time of year. Some beautiful iris, white iris behind me, and these giant lilies that will grow even taller with massive great big white flowers later. And as you can see, have been attacked a bit by the old lily beetles. So in case any of you don't know what a lily beetle is, there they are, and they cause all of this damage on your lilies, and they can cause massacres, so you've got to get them and squash them. Sorry mate, your deed. So I'm just about to carry out a bit of a lily beetle massacre. Look, there's a couple of them having it away. Well, they can have it away somewhere in heaven, beetle heaven. Go on, get out of it. Yeah, give something for the ants to eat, I think. I was just about to sit down there, and I've just realised there's 10,000 ants there, so I'll give that a miss. So hopefully I can keep them in good condition. They're pretty, you know, hardy anyway, so they'll produce the beautiful white flowers later on. And we've got phlox and all sorts of different things. Some lovely hostas there, some white foxglove there, some are they camassias? I think they're camassias. Behind, white as well. Try to keep things as white as possible in this little area here. Why don't we have a little look around the rest of the garden? Hello and welcome back to a rather damp and floppy optimistic garden here in Nova Scotia. We are a week since I left you, and literally just as I finished filming the bit where I sat down on the edge of the orchard there, it started raining, or decided to come in with clouds. Then I had a bit of a break, came back, and it started raining, and it has not stopped raining for the last week or so. So everything is totally flopped over. All the, you know, most of the lupins are destroyed or gone over. We look back into the other part of the garden there, the beautiful hosta that I showed you has been completely annihilated by a blackguardly deer. So I'm going to move it from there. I'm going to take the opportunity for it of having been, you know, beaten up, and I'm going to move it into the contemplation garden where it's less likely to be eaten by deer because there's less access for it. But everything else here now, you know, it's all wet, damp, the weeds have come up. So I've got to spend the next few hours, now there's a bit of respite from the rain, to sort of put it back in a bit of order. But we know what gardens are like. Gardens can still get through the natural rain. And as you can see, some of the tall valerian is still managing to stand up despite the onslaught of the rain, looking very statuesque in the shady splendour. Still looking good. And the peonies are about to flower. Beautiful. The peonies that I couldn't remember earlier. And still those blackguarding beetles are around. But everything is still, different things are doing well anyway. Look at these beauties. I'm not sure what they are. I'll have to check them out again. And the phlox is growing tall. And that'll all be coming nice and white flowers very soon. And even this clematis is starting to flower. Hopefully that'll flower and get that to climb all the way up the roof and across the roof at one stage anyway. So that is looking beautiful. Some lovely white foxgloves here. Let me go around the other end. Beautiful foxgloves with a speckled throat. They're looking wonderful. And the grass is starting to come on nice and tall now. And this common mullein that's just decided to grow itself here, I think that looks wonderful, and that'll be a tall yellow spike coming out the top of there. You've got to let these odd plants or plants grow in the odd place, and that's looking great with the two box either side and the stones. Leading up to now, the rather untidy bed that I've got to sort of get back into shape. Cut all the lupins back, and yeah, so I need to cut the lupins back, provide some support to the peonies, and look, some of these, like I said, not all the valerian is doing well, all leaning over there, so I've got to look after that. Cut all these lupins back, like I said, provide some space now for the Shasta daisies and the peonies and the grass that's coming up, and the other phlox. I've got some tall phlox in here somewhere, and that will come again and the bed will look good again. It looks a bit, like I said, mullered post all of that rain, and now all the spikes are gone over, but a couple of days work, or a couple of hours work really, and that will come good again. And this side again, more Shasta daisies and the rock rose, etc. Still haven't finished that bench that I've got to at the end. Shasta daisies, the valerian there flopping over, and that is a pear tree that I moved there last year. So, and another pear tree here, which I'll be growing in a fan shape. Need to put some supports in there to start that off. But yeah, now a messy orchard, but nothing that can't be sorted and be looking good in a few weeks. And the beautiful purples here starting to come up of the little rock roses. So there we go, all rather messy and damp after a week of incessant rain. Things have flopped over, you know, the weeds have come up big style, so I've just got to get amongst it, clean it up, and the garden will soon dry out and be looking good over the next few weeks, hopefully. Anyway, hope you enjoyed a little look around pre and post downpour optimistic garden. See you again soon. Well, hopefully after this clean up job will be a good one.